Welcome to Gear Shift, a podcast dedicated to all aspects of vehicle ownership with your hosts, Christof and Kacper. It's RB26. What's that?
Skyline.
Oh, well, I mean, no, you're right. It's
Welcome
not.
back to Gear Shift.
Oh, we didn't see you there.
No, we didn't.
Oh.
Hey, how are you?
Oh,
yeah,
hi,
how you doing?
hi, good.
I apologize for these two cretins speaking about some kind of Jap garbage right now, but hi, welcome back to Gear Shift.
Anyway, yeah, we are back. This is this is episode 6. It is great to be back.
It is great to be back. Hello, everybody. This is Kacper.
This is Christof.
And wait, there
I'm
is
back
some...
for a third run.
Boom.
We're gonna have to actually put your name in the credits now.
I don't know.
Would you like to be a full-time member?
I don't know. There's might be some commitment issues down the line. But
Well, you know what? I'll have my lawyers draft up a nice contract. We'll send it to legal. Send it to legal department.
Okay.
HR will have to meet with you. They might let the sexual harassment claims go.
Obviously.
From your past.
We know some people.
It shouldn't be a problem. So, but we'll talk. So there will be some negotiation sessions. Whether Kevin's going
to
be.
Speak to my secretary, and we could.
Does your secretary drive a 240?
She does.
I heard it's a secretary car.
She does
actually. Before we get down in this rabbit hole, let's kick it off. This show is, as always, brought to you by the Bearded Detailer, located in Center Valley, Pennsylvania. It is the only OptiCoat and Laminex installer in Center Valley, Coopersburg, Quakertown, and Hellertown area. So if you need any detailing work done, please contact the Bearded Detailer, 570-205-0255. And it's got an online store, too, the swag store on thebeardeddetailer.com. You can go on there.
Really nice stuff.
Really nice stuff.
I've been on it.
You have. You can buy your Laminex if you want to do pre-cut film yourself. You can actually buy some cleaning supplies to do it yourself, too. And if you use the promo code GearShift, you'll earn yourself a nice 10% off your order. You can't go wrong with that.
I have an internet. Can I use that?
And it is dial-up ready.
Boom. Let me talk to my provider.
You're on the phone. Mom, I'm on the internet.
Oh, those were the days. Oh.
Well then.
So we're here. We are not drinking alcoholic beverages today. We're enjoying Kevin and I are enjoying some Black Rifle coffee. Kacper, you're enjoying tea.
Yes, I am. Is that a problem?
No.
All right, then.
So it doesn't fit my narrative, but whatever. We have some housekeeping we want to do before we get right into the whole bucket of bolts here. First up, we are going to introduce a new segment. Now, we haven't come up with a name for it. I mean, Trivia Tuesday is really the only thing I have because it's both with T's. But essentially, let me fill you in with the premise, and maybe like last time we'll conceive a name throughout the
Turbo Trivia?
No, because then it would be just Turbo.
You guys suck.
Anyway, hey, you got the last one. Who knows if you can do it again?
I know.
We'll see. So let's start talking about it here. So what it is every Tuesday, there will be a video uploaded at noon on Instagram and Facebook that will be a quick either trivia or a riddle, but it will be automotive related. And you will have from Tuesday at noon until record on Saturdays to submit your answer to gearshiftpodcast@gmail.com. And I don't think we're going to do anything weird for picking. I think just the first person to get it right will win a $20 gift card to the Bearded Detailer. And that can be used in person or online. So,
am I eligible for said contest? No? The Jetta needs a wash, dude.
just buy me food. Which that actually is a perk at the Bearded Detailer. If you bring him food while he's working, you'll get a free wash.
Only for limited friend base.
No,
really?
That's
everybody?
across the board. Yeah,
really?
Yeah. You might not get the free wash at that exact moment, but you'll get a credit to our free wash. Just a basic wash.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I love food. You know this.
I've been around the block once or twice.
So we'll come up with the name of that later, but every Tuesday at noon on Instagram and Facebook, there will be a video with trivia or a riddle. You email your answer to gearshiftpodcast@gmail.com, and you'll have until Friday nights at 11:59 to submit your answer. The first person to get it right gets a $20 gift card. We will announce it on the show Monday when it airs at 8 a.m.
Sweet. That sounds awesome.
That sounds pretty awesome.
Free stuff is great.
Free stuff is nice.
Yeah. All right, then, buddy. All right, then.
Well, while we're in the giving mood, we're going to do another contest. And there's not going to be any trickery like last time.
No.
There is a definite answer to this. And this is episode 6. So you guys have listened to our intro 6 times, maybe more, but at least 6 times now. So you've gotten to hear the magical exhaust note of a vehicle launching and taking off. We're not going to go too specific, I guess, with this. We plan on changing it every 10 episodes. So we will announce the winner to this contest on the 10th episode. And it's you just need to guess the model and engine.
That's good enough.
I think that's good enough
works.
because, some cars, like some BMWs, have a split year where they change the motor. So if you want to give year, make, and everything else, if you know everything about it, then
Just give it a good crack.
Yeah.
And we'll see where this goes.
But at minimum, model and engine, because people do swaps and lots of things. LS swaps is very popular. So LS swap.
That could be a hint. Who knows?
Maybe.
It definitely sounds like an LS1.
Definitely. Sure.
I thought it was a smart car. I guess I'm out of this contest then.
It sounded more like actually, if Toyota Echoes sounded like that.
I've yet to hear one with an exhaust. I'm
there would be.
pretty
I have
sure
YouTube. There's tons.
that sucker just purrs.
Maybe we'll close this episode out with one.
Yeah,
I'll
that'd be
roll
nice.
it out with one.
It sounds like.
No, actually, I think it was just a straight pipe. It sounded pretty good. Actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
1.6, killing it.
Or 1.5.
Really?
Yeah, 1.5.
Are you sure?
It was it's 1.4 and change, so it's a 1.5.
Who knew?
Did you round down or did you
The
round
dude
up?
who loves Toyota Echoes.
Well, I think our housekeeping is done now.
Yeah, and as Kevin mentioned, the Toyota, I'm sure the Echo with the exhaust is killing it, and so we are going to proceed right into killing the game.
Killing the game. This
the
is
car scene.
Yeah, which in itself is a frustration right off the bat. It being called the scene is my first frustration right out of the gate.
I think we're gonna come from a I want to say a Volkswagen standpoint. I know because
European.
Yeah, because
a lot of shows now for Volkswagen do include Audi.
I don't say
Porsche.
we're gonna go because we can do this as far as like a car show sort of thing, or just like a automotive groups, or because we can go like muscle car stuff. I don't think really this stuff applies.
Some of it does.
I'm gonna say not as much, but we can dig into that later.
Right.
We can just get like a
No, yeah, each there's definitely goods. There's pros and cons.
Yeah.
There's goods and bads. I'm good with words. The best words, actually. I have the best words. I have a really good brain, actually.
small hands but big brain.
Anyway,
Does this hand look smaller than my other hand?
right
I
now
think it does.
we're all comparing hands right now. Actually, for those of you not watching. Anyway, there are pros and cons to every manufacturer click. So obviously, there's car shows for everything. Are you all right over there?
Yeah, I'm still checking out my hands.
Okay.
That'll do. So there's clicks. Obviously, you have your VW kids, you have your Subaru kids, you have your Honda kids.
Emphasis is on the kids right now. I'm seeing that.
And I won't limit the word kid to an actual age, because you can have a 30-year-old person who participates in this that acts like a kid.
True.
Just age does not mean you're an adult.
Maturity level.
Yes.
Yes.
Although I will say 18 years is an actual legal adult, just for those of you who heard me say age does not mean you're an adult. Legally, it does.
Yeah, but I mean, not in the car scene, because there's
No.
plenty of bullshit that goes on.
You can have a
there.
17-year-old and a 30-year-old that act identical, and I think that's part of the problem. So I guess let's stick with what we kind of know first, and we'll go from there. So let's start with the word scene. It's stupid. calling it a scene,
Oh,
I think it's
Go
dumb.
off. Please go. I'm
Let us know what burns your clutch, Christof.
feed the fire, Christof. Feed it.
Feel the hate. The force is strong with this one.
Let the hate flow through you.
So you drank the Kool-Aid for a while.
I did, and I think
drank the Kool-Aid
yes,
for a while.
Everyone
I don't
has.
know if Kacper ever
Not
really
really.
did.
Not
I don't
really.
know because I don't know. Me and Christof did the Volkswagen thing for.
He drank the potato juice, though.
A few years. I've been drinking the potato juice for a long time.
He started when he was 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maturity.
Well, we should probably start it with the fact that there is a difference between someone who's a car guy and an enthusiast. Those are two very different things, and I'll
I think this is
define
a
them.
problem when you get a lot of people together. Period.
Yeah, you have bad apples that ruin it.
You know, it's collectively. You have one topic that whether it be cars or music or whatever it is, you're gonna have like idiots.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. No, you're accurate with that. So an enthusiast is someone who can go to anything and appreciate good work across the board.
Correct.
You can ride your Harley to a Honda show. You can then take your Honda to a Cadillac show, which I don't know if there is a Cadillac show, but
There
sure.
could be.
We should.
I'm
start
sure there's
one.
a forum for Cadillacs. And
Oh, there definitely
there's
is.
like a CTSV
ATS.
meet.
Yeah.
There must be.
There has to be. If not, we should start one.
Yeah.
Kill the game.
Cadillac DeVille.
So, and then a car guy is someone who really stays within one niche. That's it. Like, well, I'm a car guy. Well, what kind of cars you've owned? I've only had Honda, EGs my entire life. The Civic EGs.
Mustang V6s all of my life.
Oh God, yes, yeah. So
Well, yeah.
that's an example of a car guy. I like to think that I'm an enthusiast. I like to think all three of us actually are more of an enthusiast than a car guy. Our ownership may be very limited, but we all can appreciate good work.
No, see, I've had multiple makes, and I can say you guys know me well enough at this point that if I really like something, I would jump into anything. I don't care what it is.
Yeah.
If there was something that I liked, which later on when we go on to our little burns our clutch segment, I will discuss why I'm willing at this very fucking moment to go into anything I want.
Spoil it.
I'm not going to spoil it just yet. No.
We weren't going to do that segment this
Oh
week.
well, no. You know what? We're gonna fucking do it, but we'll get back to it later.
Well, actually,
but-
no, because we are going to do what did you
The
do
man
this
needs
week,
to
so
vent.
That will,
Yeah. So
That
Man needs to
so
vent.
yeah. So not to stray too far off topic, I would definitely jump into almost any. I don't want to say any make, but there's a lot of different makes that make really good cars nowadays, and a lot of them are appealing in their own ways. And I would definitely jump into just about anything if I liked it enough.
I'm gonna branch out on that and say you shouldn't be limited to one. Like for example, Volkswagen. So you're like, I'm Volkswagen, and Audi, Volkswagen. You get stuck in this
Yeah.
box, and you don't know what everything else is like, and you're just like you're a horse with blinds on. You only seen one way.
Now, to piggyback on that, though, if you have, you're looking at me when you say this.
I know I'm looking at you when I say it.
But at least you know that I have driven other things. I sold cars. I know what else is out there.
Yeah.
There is a reason why I have stuck with this
I have
branch.
hope for you down the line. I really do.
Same.
I wouldn't
really
have that
do.
hope. I'd get rid of that hope.
I don't know. I feel like if somebody whipped out a nice E31 850i,
But that's still a European car.
It is a European car, but it's a BMW, which you otherwise despise.
No, you're
So
that.
See, I'm a European car.
Dude.
I
Okay.
like European vehicles. Prime example, obviously I sold Mazdas. Every time I would go over to the Mazda showroom, I didn't like it for a couple reasons. Number one, no matter what car, no matter what model it was, my back was killing me after a 15-minute test drive. I was in pain. I could never get comfort in those cars. I couldn't do it. I've driven
Are
a
Mazdas
Subarus.
even built in Japan anymore?
Yeah.
They are?
Yeah.
Really?
It depends on the model.
Yeah.
Yeah. I forget which models are, but yeah.
'Cause I know they were a Ford affiliate for a while.
Oh no, that was limited. That was very short. That was when
like
they had
the
that
early 2000s.
Yeah, when they had the
I wanna
pickup that was
say.
a B.
We're straying
whatever.
off topic.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah,
so,
you are.
So anyway,
Why don't you dial it back in, you
yeah.
fucktards?
so
Horse with blinds.
horse with
on
blinds.
Christof.
Yes, which is kind of me, but whatever. I know what else is out there. It doesn't fit my. needs
You've
and
been
wants.
getting better.
Recently.
Recently you have been getting better. And if I had a hat, I
He
would
does not have a
tip
hat,
it
but
off to you.
I can
which
lend
I
you.
gave you a hat.
You did. It's a nice liquid Molly hat.
Yes.
Which I appreciate.
I know you do.
I would give it to you to tip it.
Yeah.
Or I could just tip it for you
Yeah.
myself.
Yes.
the hat has
Nice.
been tipped.
It's been tipped. Why? I know exactly why you're gonna tip your hat. It's because I'm no longer driving a bagged Passat with fancy wheels.
You've made the step to Audi, which is a good step.
And not touched.
You're
it
still
for
in the
most part.
family, though. You haven't,
He hasn't branched out anywhere
You're still
else.
there. You haven't gone off on a tangent. I don't think
Right.
you're gonna go out of the realm. You're just gonna make an impulse decision and just like come home with like, I came home with an RX-7 or like something like this. I'm not being a Japanese bias by any means right now, but I'm just picking stuff out of the air.
Some kind of example, yeah.
No, but similar to you, if I had money sitting around for something and there was a clean example, I would, and it would fit my needs for what I wanted. I would absolutely do that.
But I know you've been like, when you worked at the shop, you like the Porsche thing started catching.
itch.
Yeah, that's another level. Obviously, it's like not for another 80 years when I'm dead.
Yeah, I'll use my my kids will buy one for me.
My kids will bury me in a 928.
Oh God, no,
That'd be
not
terrible.
It'd be the worst coffin ever. I don't like 928s anyway.
So dialing back
yeah.
into that topic, it's you have people that are willing, that are car enthusiasts, like Christof
Yes.
mentioned, that will be willing and accepting of other
Yes.
makes and models, and some that simply stick. Now, either way, you can have people that are accepting, like the car enthusiasts, but even if you're a car enthusiast and you like everything, there is still tons of people out there in all different makes and models that are complete idiots. Like we mentioned before. So it doesn't matter that Subarus, for example, make good cars, because they do make fantastic cars. But we all know the
people that come along.
The people
with
that
them
come
are-
along with the general Subaru scene, for example,
meet a certain criteria.
meet a certain criteria.
which I believe Miranda told me they have a name. Like for VW kids, it's Dubbers.
Isn't it
Subbers or Subers?
Isn't it Scoobers? Scoobies, something like that. I forget what it is. But all I know is that Subaru actually, you guys can fact check me on this, recently launched a plan to include factory installed vapes in their cars. They're coming out of the factory with 3 liters of blueberry vape in the trunk. Accessible. It is free range. It is organic.
Blueberry yum yum.
Yeah,
You
blueberry
do-
yum yum.
well,
right out of the console.
Yeah, but the thing is, the only problem with doing that is the fact that, well, no, it's actually good for sales, because they'll then be able to sell accessory upgrades to maybe Razzmatazz Raspberry.
Well, yeah, I mean, the only thing that the reason it took so long is because they had to try to figure out how they can place these liter bottles without throwing off the symmetrical all-wheel drive that Subaru, is so well known for. I mean, so for anybody that's not too sarcasm savvy, we're just taking a couple of jabs at the Subaru kids and all the boasting that they do about their symmetrical all-wheel drive, their rally cars, and their fucking vaping with their visors halfway to the side. It's the most annoying shit in the world.
I always said the most effective salesperson would be a vegan person who also did CrossFit, who was a Jehovah's Witness, and owned a Subaru.
I mean, yeah.
Do you have a moment for me to tell you about our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, who also enjoys the benefits of symmetrical all-wheel drive?
So yeah, that takes care of the Subaru scene kind of to a certain extent.
Well,
You have a lot of these guys.
The whole scene is whatever is cool, whatever is going to be this year at the shows. I know, Kevin, you like where this is going. Yeah. So it's whatever's cool, and there are cycles. You see these cycles; they happen every year. What's going to be the scene wheel this year?
Been stuck for a while, actually.
It has, because a lot of what's out there has been done so many times.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. I'll say this now: if you ever think you have an original idea to do on your car, you don't.
Been done.
You don't. It's been done.
Yeah.
I want to run 20 degrees negative camber.
Welcome to the Volkswagen world. Yeah.
And Japanese.
And Japanese, yeah,
Honda
too.
is big
Yeah.
for that.
Yeah.
And if you also think that negative 20 degrees camber is cool, stop listening to the show. I don't want your download. Go away. You are an idiot. I'll straight up say that. Please send all complaints to gearshiftpodcast@gmail.com. Address them to Christof, and I will delete them instantly. So
I mean, straying off. So you have the Subaru kids, which we touched upon, and mind you, guys, just as the show progresses, we're gonna kind of banter on every single make that we come across.
Because they're all like that. You have BMW kids who want to run these 20-foot spoilers on their stupid BMWs, and run straight pipes and blast pipes on a European car. Like, I think that's stupid. And this isn't me just being an old person.
Just
like
expressing themselves, Christof. God.
They can do that by opening a coffee shop.
But yeah, so I mean, even not to go straight into the European market, but right off the bat, you have the Subaru kids, and then you have their arch nemesis, the Evo kids. So yeah, so I mean, very similar kind of thing. Everybody claims that their car is the best. Well, it's 300 horses out of the factory, so I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. It's their certified rally car, and all that other shit that goes with it. But between
Rally
the two,
inspired.
Rally inspired, yeah.
No, your car is made by a Japanese truck company.
So yeah, I mean, both. I again sitting here in this chair as a car enthusiast, I will say that I have my appreciation for Subaru, and I do have my appreciation for Evos. I actually was very, very close to buying an Evo a few months ago.
Right. And that goes to show you can go from a German car into that.
Yeah, no, I absolutely can. And yeah, are there certain drawbacks with every make that you're going to tap into? Absolutely. Yeah. There's certain things that one make offers that another will not, or that they come in I don't want to say pairs, but packages. Put it that way.
It goes into needs and wants categories.
Exactly.
What
and
fits
so
each category?
And so the Evo fit my needs.
Fetish.
Fetish. Fit my needs at the time. I like hatches and etc. But I wanted something. I was like, let me cross the bridge into JDM land.
And we all know Kevin did it. I mean,
and Kevin was actually part of the reason. Well, I want to say part of the reason, but he was kind of like an affirmation,
an eye opener. Would you say?
Yeah, to a certain extent, definitely, because he bought his 240, which is
how many
pristine.
people do we know that have been a German? You had
that made those.
You had an Audi, you had an R32, and then you went straight to
Nissan.
Like all of a sudden, R32 gone within 1 week.
I knew
because I am. I don't know if you want to classify me as an enthusiast, but I just like cars. So I don't think you should be limiting yourself to one brand. And
that's an enthusiast.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I was limiting myself to one brand for how many years, right? So after seeing one thing and started working at the shop too, driving more rear-wheel drive cars, some odds and ends that comes through. It really opens your eyes. Like there's a lot more out there than like what you're just getting stuck on.
Correct.
So I just came across the 240 at the at Cars and Coffee.
Yep. And actually, the guy lives right down the street from me.
Yeah, and it's just it's something different for me, something new.
Yep.
And you can't get hung up on the same thing for too long. It gets boring. Especially for me, it gets boring.
And eventually, you'll get bored of the 240.
Yeah, I will. I'm sure I will.
Yeah, and then you'll be buying a Hummer.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, I mean, that's what it comes down to. It's just there's the bad side. You shouldn't make. I think the point we're kind of shooting at is you shouldn't make a decision on what car
everybody
you are
else
considering.
Is doing too.
What everybody else is doing, exactly, because you have would I consider if I found some kind of, I don't know, for example, a Honda or an Acura that I really, really liked, that was just a clean build, let's say, and I was looking for something peppy and something fun. Would I buy it? I'm not sure. I don't know if I definitely would, just go say, oh, I want, because it would be a different make for me, but it would still be front-wheel drive land, which is why I don't think I would pick up another. At this point where I'm at right now, if I do end up picking up something else, I kind of really want a rear-wheel drive car at this point.
Yes, you do.
I do. And so I don't have any issues with Hondas as car, because we all know Hondas they're fantastic cars. They're built very well, and they have so many interchangeable parts, and the market for modifications is also fantastic. But you have the fuckboys, unfortunately, and they kind of ruin it.
I think that's a good. You could wrap that up with every manufacturer.
Fuckboys, yeah.
It doesn't matter. It's not just Hondas. It's Subarus. It's Volkswagen.
Oh my God!
And you know what? We all, like we just said, I am a Volkswagen guy.
I've met people like that have Hondas or like whatever. Like it just really it depends who you are.
Yeah.
Like if you're gonna be that dude who just like you just gonna put air suspension on his car and fancy wheels and air out at every show, Christof.
I didn't go to shows.
You did for a little bit.
Not with the Passat. I didn't.
I didn't say the Passat.
I didn't have air at any show that I went to.
Stop defending yourself.
Before,
you were a scene kid for a while.
That's right. I'm just taking a little stat.
Go ahead. No. I got a sword upstairs. You want it?
Yeah.
right through.
And be really showboaty and full of yourself and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
It rubs me the wrong way. But you can have like the same guy, or like the same sort of person, that same car with like a totally like a different mindset of like how you're doing stuff and your attitude. Like at car shows and stuff like that, it's like it's such a broad spectrum.
Well, I think it comes down to why are you doing it. So Yeah.
Are you going there to look cool?
Are you going there
That's-
to win a trophy? Are you there to blend
I
in?
wouldn't. We can do the trophy thing, but what is your priority?
Followers
Do you
on
wanna
the gram?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you
Yeah.
want to?
Yeah.
Do you have a lot of followers on Instagram?
Do you
want
wanna
to
kill the game?
do you want to? Do you just want to look cool, or are you a person? Are you a quote unquote enthusiast who really enjoys driving your
Right.
car? And like that sort of thing, or you just want to go and slam it in a
Right.
parking lot and just say, "Look at that shit, that's
And
hot."
that comes down to, I think actually that it correlates well with how two things: one, technology, and two, availability. So you have even 7-8 years ago. Well, yeah, let's say eight to 10, because I keep forgetting it's already 2017. But let's say about 8 to 10 years ago, if you were into cars, the accessibility of parts nowadays, of parts and universal modifications for people are insanely high. Like, I mean, you can do just about anything to any car for fairly cheap at this point. And I think that makes the scene so saturated, and we're calling it the scene at this point. So the scene's so saturated, and it forces, I don't want to say it forces, but it does. It actually does force everything to repeat itself and everything to be played out at this point. So there's so many people that are into it, not because of actually having custom stuff done to their vehicle, but they're kind of running the common thing and trying to outdo each other just for attention because of how much attention technology has brought to the car game.
I think even in correlation with that, social media.
Yeah, specifically. I meant that, yeah.
Yeah, because when I first started getting into cars, I'm not gonna lie and say, well, when I was 4 years old, I knew I was into car. No, it was about 2008 is when I really started showing a passion for vehicles, and I joined Vortex, as every well-suited, established young man does.
Long Cat was posted multiple times.
Oh God, those were my younger years. But anyway, I was not responsible. Anyway, no, I joined then, and Vortex was a great tool. There were a bunch of tools on there too, but it was a great tool. You could actually get help from people. You could find information that you wanted. Was there a lot of tomfoolery going on? Absolutely. Was Long Cat posted maybe 100 times or more in a day? Absolutely. But we all grow and learn. May or may not have been me. Anyway, Kid Version 1 never dies. Anyway, so but now, it's all Instagram, for example. It's mostly Instagram.
Yeah.
You have people. I have 1,000 followers. Where I have 10,000 followers. Because I'm on the gram. I'm taking pictures for the gram.
Mm-hmm.
Like you were looking for a car. What car was that? 240?
Yeah, this was what, 2
Volvo
weeks ago?
240 or
No,
Nissan?
Nissan 240.
Yes, sir.
No, but he showed you this one last week too.
Yeah, I just hopped up onto Craigslist just to look around.
And in the ad, it said featured on Mishimoto's
Instagram page.
Yeah. That is not an accomplishment. I'm sorry.
No, it's not.
It's not an accomplishment.
No, the car,
cool?
yeah,
Great,
yeah, it's cool. The car was very nice as well.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, I don't fucking care.
Yeah.
The caring level.
Don't show me a
really
picture.
low.
Don't show me a screenshot of your Mishimoto page.
Yeah.
Show me a picture of the work done under the hood.
Might as well just go ahead and tag that too. It's like, oh, buy my car. I have 10,000 followers on Instagram. I don't give a shit. I don't care. I don't care about your fuckboy car. I don't care about you. Now, I'm saying that, not that all 240s are fuckboy cars, but I'm sorry.
I'm
I'm
the rarest breed of them all. I think.
I know, yeah, but I'm saying if you're a fuckboy, then your car is also a fuckboy car. It doesn't matter because you're gonna do fuckboy things. Fuckboys do fuckboy things.
Truth.
I think this might be the word fuckboy's ever been used in one sitting.
So yeah, I mean, so we all have our plagues with that. I mean, it comes into any market, whether it's BMW with their, the BMW guys, especially.
It doesn't have to be brand specific. Like I said earlier, because like I've seen like really cool, like you get. I think when you, so let's take an example like a Cars and Coffee sort of example.
Yeah.
Like sort
There
of
are some awesome examples of
so
cars.
you see a little bit of everything, right? So and things that come along with it. So I could see like an E46M3 with like a supercharger or a turbo on it, on like coilovers and a nice set of wheels. Boom, done.
Real clean, real
Out
nice.
the door.
Yeah.
Out the door.
Out the door.
Real nice.
At the same point, I can also see
Two cars down.
Yeah, 2 cars down. Another M3, just cambered to shit.
Camber gang.
With
Windshield banner.
rotiforms on it, gold rotiforms on it, and a windshield banner, and
fenders that are burnt through and rusted.
Yeah, and baconed up
know.
fenders and your paint's to shit. And
but that's a show car right
but
there.
that's who's going to get more attention. It's all
It's all on what.
it's
Yeah.
back and forth. It depends. Like, what are you there for?
Yeah.
Are you there for to look cool? Do you appreciate that sort of thing? Or are you there more of like a driving, like motorsport sort of like standpoint? Or are you halfway in the middle?
And that can even branch off. So we've now poked fun at these. More, let's just say these are more inexpensive cars. Older used car. Let's go a different route. The same thing applies in the Porsche world. You can go to any Porsche gathering.
That drives me up the wall.
And you can
man.
have a pristine 30-year-old car, 911. That is a perfect example of what that car should have been then and now.
slammed.
But it will no. It can even be stocked. But you can then 2 cars down. There'll be an RWB, a chopped up 911 that will get so much more attention because of a $20,000 bolt-on fender kit.
Fiberglass.
But. And most of them, I don't know. I would only do that to an R-Title car because you have to literally chop up the rear fenders. But
You cut the front and the rear, I think.
the front, you can actually replace the whole fender. The rear is body.
Yeah.
So that blows my mind. You have a pristine car, 2 cars down, a chopped up car, and that will get better. So it's not just the cheap cars. You can go in the expensive realm too and see that.
Because it looks cool.
Yeah, exactly. And don't get me wrong. The RWBs, they do look good.
Yeah, they do.
I would never do it personally, but they look good.
It all comes down to what your appreciation for cars boils down to. That's what it is. It's whatever you think is the reason that you like cars. I mean, if you like going to hear psst and looking at a car sitting on fucking laying frame, so to speak, or
revving and loud music.
Yeah, on there's different parts of, and a Cars and Coffee is actually a really good example. So I mean, I think is that just a Northeastern thing, or is that kind of it's nationwide, right? Yeah,
I'm sure it even goes beyond the United States. Too.
Yeah, so it's a nice diverse conglomerate of all these different types of people that come to the car scene. But yeah, it just boils down to what you like. I mean, and it's just funny that within each make, I know you can find quote unquote Fükboise, within any make, but each make creates its own stereotype, is what it is. I think what I was trying to get
absolutely,
to. Is you have the BMW guys that think, oh, this is a God's chariot, this is the ultimate driving machine. They don't know jack shit. Or the guys that think a 7 Series is better than the 3 Series because it has a bigger engine. Shit like that. They don't know. They don't know certain things.
And you have the stupid rivalry between Honda and Volkswagen, which I don't know why that's even a thing.
Because a Volkswagen is the Honda of Europe.
I really want a Honda hate shirt, but I can't find one.
A Honda hate?
Yeah, we're like, so it's like the Honda H and then it's H A-T-E. I can't spell.
That's pretty cool. Why don't you just make one for yourself? I'm sure you can make one online.
Just make one for yourself.
Yeah.
I got a
what do you
paintbrush.
drive, a Volkswagen? I'm like, yeah, I do. Come at me, bro.
But yeah, so yeah, that's what it boils down to.
Use it more of a conversation starter.
At a Cars and Coffee.
Yeah, I do. I got a nice 2-liter, not cammed, bone stock.
So yeah.
I said I am going to bring it to the show one time. I got to polish my headlights first.
So for anybody, not to keep anybody out of the loop, what we're discussing is Kevin has a 2-point-slow Mark IV Jetta that he has been stating he will take to our local Cars and Coffee
and pop the hood.
The hood, completely dirty.
I've seen that done before.
Hasn't been washed.
I know y'all have seen that before. I've seen like Cavaliers with the I'm like, or V6 Mustangs. I'm like, why did you pop the hood? I really don't get it.
Why does that R32 have a hood pop? That's
why
weird.
did you bring your car? It was another like Cavalier or like a Sunfire or something with like purple plasti dipped. Hubcaps. Like just
killing the game.
Dumb shit.
That's the Cavalier game. That's the car scene.
I thought I think Steve mentioned this once before. I'm like, we're gonna do a show. It's gonna be the Yes No Show.
No, it was you and me. We talked about this.
Yeah. That'd be cool because that'd cause a lot of butt hurt.
You line up. You drive up to the show.
So you drive up to the show and you have somebody who's at the entrance, right? And they look at your car and they say yes or no. They say yes if they like it. It comes in and you say no, you fuck off.
Yep.
Or you could have another lot with all the no stuff.
Yeah. That's the no lot. This is the yes lot.
That would be super biased because like everything bagged and everything else. I'm like, no, get the fuck out.
I wouldn't be able to park my car in there.
So super sad.
No, you would throw me off because you can tell. I think I can tell.
Well,
most times I can tell because I'm
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I have that feeling as soon as I'm like, oh, you have cold wheels, don't you? Getting the other lot, bitch.
Was that a buy 3 get 1 free deal?
See, and yeah, that ties back to exactly what I wanted to say
Yeah.
before. Is the accessibility of everything now. Before you really. To make your car look different than stock, I'm not going to say different from everybody else, because uniqueness is very, very difficult to achieve at this point in the car scene. But to make your car look, it's so much easier now to make your car just look different than stock for so cheap.
I was going to say, I think it's just cheaper.
It is.
Yeah.
It's cheaper, and it's the accessibility of everything.
You can finance wheels and suspension now.
Exactly.
You can finance, and not with a credit card. You can actually open up a finance account with Bag Riders, with ECS tuning. Like, this is, and good for them. They're trying to make another avenue of money. I'm happy.
Yeah,
for
it's
them.
a fantastic business thing, but it I don't want to say it's the car scene sucks because you can finance stuff. No, it's awesome, but it doesn't help it. It has pros and cons. The uniqueness aspect is gone. Everybody and their mother has some kind of rolling shot video with dubstep playing and all this other bullshit on YouTube.
Are they still doing that at like Waterfest and stuff? I bet you they are.
Dubstep?
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't been to Waterfest since 2012.
I went like 2 or 3 years ago with
2011.
Steve. Like ride along. I won't go to one ever.
It's 9
again.
million degrees. Like,
I used to have a lot of fun, actually.
well, you were drunk most of the.
Yes,
yeah,
I was.
yeah.
But
For those of you who have never,
the point.
For those of you who have never experienced a show with Kevin,
And I've
not
had a couple
sober.
beers.
It's fantastic.
You might as well close your ears.
You can leave your safety pin at home because it's awesome. So anyway, getting back, Fükboise are gonna fuck. That's what it's gonna be.
Kids, man.
Kids.
So on the flip side of the coin, I'm going back on the maturity level.
Right.
Have you ever been to like a hot rod show or anything like this?
Yes.
It's so laid back,
Yes.
man. It's like everybody's just hanging out, having a good time. They have one in Macungie twice a year.
Is that the Wheels of Time one?
There's Wheels of Time
Yeah.
and Das.
Oshfest.
Yes,
Yeah.
Oshfest.
I haven't been to either of them.
You should go.
I miss it every year.
Yeah, so I've been wanting to go on Wheels of Time for a while, but we always usually hit up the other one, and they're within like a couple weeks of each other too.
Right.
That's a good show. So going from like a Cars and Coffee sort of vibe to go like something like that, it's like why isn't it all like this?
You literally just want to bring a lawn chair.
Oh
and
yeah,
chill.
and everybody's drinking.
Yeah.
Everybody's drinking, but like nobody's being an idiot.
No.
You know what I mean? It's
But
just
the
like,
average age there too.
it will obviously is.
Yeah. But I wish every
you know,
show was like.
I wish it was like that too. It was like hanging
not
out
even
in
just
the
hot
park
rod, just
and, like,
classic cars. A classic car show in
Yeah,
general.
yeah.
But you have people who have now dedicated most of their lives to getting a car in tip-top show condition for the most part.
Yeah.
Or have taken care of a car for 20 years.
I don't know. Maybe when all these idiots are 65 years old, it might still be the same thing.
Maybe there will be an awesome R32 show, classic R32 show.
Everyone has like sideways,
It'll be positive camber.
yeah,
You'll have 70-year-old guys, yeah, hey, who's got a vape I can bum? Yeah.
That's another story. We'll get into that later.
Yeah, there's definitely a maturity aspect to it. Again, it doesn't. Now, I will say this: I've made some really good friendships because of going to car shows. I used to go to car shows mostly to see people. Like, one of the big things about going down to Wookiees in the Woods, I know it's not a show, but I get to see people there that I don't get to see the rest of the year. And I've made some good friendships down there for the R32 community. Going to H2O, for example.
I can get behind that. Like I only see like Derek like once or twice a year max. I think last year I saw him twice. The one other time because he came out to Lancaster for that little meetup.
Yeah.
I see some other people, some other friends, Steve that I like hanging out with, and I can get on that.
Yeah, but you do have people who will say, "Oh, I only go to the show because of friends," but then I think some of it is just them trying to cover up why they're really there. Do they see people along the way? Absolutely, I'm sure they do. But if you're telling me you have 10,000 friends, well, you're lying. First of all, no one has that many friends. Those are people who either want to get on your dick, they want to be part of your fame, and that's retarded. No, I have made some really good friendships. Hell, if it wasn't for cars, none of us would be friends.
Yeah,
period.
that's true. That is definitely
Kevin, you and I went to a lot of shows together.
Yep.
A lot of shenanigans have been made
See?
and had.
Much so.
So I'll never take that away from anything. You know, you can have some great friendships, but when the rest of it starts to fail, I don't know. It's a slippery slope. I know this is a topic.
There's a lot of drama that gets involved.
Oh, yeah.
I think too.
Oh well, that person bought the wheels. I ran them
dude,
first.
So stupid.
I
man.
ran them first. They can't do that.
Dude.
I'm the first one to
Yeah.
do. Yeah,
Just a lot of hate.
yeah. And it's unnecessary. It's totally unnecessary.
Now, mind you, we all, the hate is unnecessary. We all three of us talk shit about all different types of cars and stuff, but it's more of like a joking banter than it is actual.
Yeah.
Well, it's the same like the military. So there's 5 branches of the military. Every single one of them talks shit on each other. Army makes fun of the Marines. Marines, make fun of the Air Force. Everyone makes fun of the Air Force, and everyone makes fun of the Coast Guard. But
At the end of the day, you're still all in the same boat.
same team.
Yeah.
Same team, and no one outside those branches get to make fun of anyone. Like, if you guys who haven't been in the military want to make fun of the Marine, I'd be like, no, shut the fuck up. You don't get to do that because you're not. You didn't earn that right to make fun of. We make fun of each other. You don't get to do that. Same thing with this. If you're a car guy, you get to make fun of these other branches. You do. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah.
But if
So there's people that can take it.
But if you live by it, yeah,
That's what I like
dish it.
doing. I like doing that. So we had a new member coming down from H2O this past year. Another new head.
Right.
And I'm like, it was another fellow RS4 owner, right? So immediately I just start poking him about it. He's like, "Oh, you have an RS4." I'm like, "Oh, that must really suck." I'm gauging him. I'm like, "Are you gonna be cool about it? Or are you gonna be like a
Must be slow."
Yeah. But no, he's cool about it, and he's still joking. And so he turns out he is he's an older 911. And he has something else, and he's just like a broad spectrum.
Yep.
And I'm like, cool guy, but at the same time, so I poke and I prod these people and see how they react, and they get so uptight and so offended over just like the dumb shit. Dude, I'm just pressing buttons, man.
Do you know what's another good group to do that to? R32 people.
Yeah, pressing buttons.
The car's pretty slow, because there's people who think an NA R32 is fast. They're not. They're slow cars.
Oh, I can see that.
They're slow.
If I was going down to Wookiee in the Woods, that's all I would be doing.
Maybe you should stay home. But if you can't, if you can't take a joke, get it.
If you would say that to me when I had my car, and I'm like, yeah, it's not that fast.
No, I tell
not.
people it's not fast because you
It's
look
peppy.
at it's quick in its own right.
Yeah, it's peppy
For a 3,600-pound
It's not
car.
a fast car by any means.
No, is it faster than a Toyota
Accord,
Echo?
There's Accord V6s that are faster than it.
With more horsepower.
Yeah.
They come with 300 stock.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, so I'm very well aware of this. At no right have I ever told anyone that car's fast.
Yeah.
In its own right, it's not. It's a heavy, slow car that handles around corners great and has some good response.
Fun to drive.
But it's not fast. So
Yeah.
no, if you can't take a joke, you shouldn't be alive if you can't take a joke.
No.
It goes with life.
No, it's like the seriousness of it. Is just baffles me.
Yeah. If you don't know that most Subaru owners vape, then that's if you can't laugh at that and know that joke's going to happen, then you're part of the problem.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I hear what you're saying. I
mean,
hear you.
You can't.
You guys can imagine the ridicule I've endured over the years of being into fucking granny cars, which is exactly what it is. I mean, I've been messing with Volvo since 2009. I want to say
the average age of Volvo ownership is at least 53.
Yeah, something like that. So I'm just I'm.
Is that Google verified?
that is. It's also actually I looked it up on Alta Vista. And I also,
what's that?
Alta Vista.
Alta Vista. Oh, that's
a search engine.
I remember. Yeah,
that's an OG search engine.
That is.
That was before Google. I used that when I was a
think
kid.
that was the first one with image search.
Yep. And Ask Jeeves was another one.
Ooh.
I asked Jeeves about the age.
Jeeves was a nice guy,
But now you have Google. That's a household
You should
name.
consult Google for this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Alta Vista, now you type something, which it still exists. I don't know how as a business you can still exist if they must fund something else.
They probably have their hands in other stuff too.
But you type something in Alta Vista and it just says no results. Please ask Google. But no, yeah, you got a granny car and
Yeah, I've endured it for quite some time. But so now that we're on the topic of the granny car, I would like to do a small segment of what's burning my clutch currently.
Well, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do the what did you do this week? We're gonna do that segment.
Yes, that ties right into it.
That will tie into it. So my brother actually got a new car this week. Today.
What did he get?
He got a new Jetta.
Nice.
What? I thought he was getting a Tesla.
So yeah, he does have a deposit on the new Tesla, but that's on the new model that hasn't been.
Yeah, it's not out yet.
It's not out yet.
Okay.
Even then, the nearest Tesla dealership to them is in Canada, so they'd have to go into Canada. They're up by Rochester.
There's nothing in New York, really?
They're in Rochester, so they're going to have to drive.
You can just drop.
They're
ship.
really
You can
close.
just drop ship that bitch right at the house.
They're really close to Canadian border, so it's easy for them. They don't feel they're ready yet as far as distance to get a Tesla yet. So they traded because they had the diesel. They had the diesel buyback. That's why they got rid of. They had a Mark V.
Oh, they got rid of it.
They had a deadline they had to get rid of a car for, so they ended up. They got a super deal on a Jetta, brand new Jetta. TSI
1.4. The small one.
They might have went to 1.8. I can't remember which is that.
I heard the 1.4 is good.
The 1.4 is supposed.
That's
to
what Art told me.
Yeah,
he said like nothing has really seriously broken on those yet.
I think only the SEL is the 1.8, and then the GLI is a 2-liter, and everything else is 1.4.
Yes.
They got rid of the 2-liter, too slow. For the S. The S has a 1.4 now.
It's smaller displacement and like same or more power, so I don't blame them.
They should never brought that engine back, but whatever. It did what they needed to do.
Yeah.
So Steve, we can talk about H2O a little bit. We mentioned it. We're not doing this isn't the full podcast. This is only the what did you do this week, but we can bring that up since we're waiting for people to join as well.
What a miserable drive that was, wasn't it, Steve, on the way down? I felt like my car was going to explode on the way down.
Oh, so you had a hurricane, right? Was that Hurricane Matthew that was coming up through?
I don't know. I think that was a year before with the flooding.
No, but this year was Hurricane Matthew.
All the winds were crazy.
I'll Google it, actually.
That was the first time I drove my car in the rain, like seriously, and I guess that might have the same issue that
use your words.
Derek had with his actually he never had them, but the
September
HREs, the HREs, they get water in the barrel and they don't spit the water out. I think so. The water kind of like floats around there and
unbalanced.
Yeah, and unbalances the wheel.
It's kind of like snow when you're in deep snow.
Exactly. Yes, I was driving down. I was like,
yeah. Hurricane Matthew was September 28th, so that would have been that around that same time. But that
it's pretty miserable.
Suck.
It's been getting worse every year, and I keep
talking
saying
about
I'm not going to go.
Now you're referring to the fuckery.
Yes.
Okay.
Also, you can't even drive anymore.
Yeah.
It's
gotten big.
It's gridlocked.
It is big.
It's gridlocked. Everything. When you try to go to eat any sort of these quote unquote meats that they have in just random parking lots, they get shut down within minutes.
And you can thank Fükboise for that.
They
want to do burnouts. Yeah. There's no need to do a burnout.
It was. You remember like Roses, right? So
that was the meat, yeah.
Like that was the place to go, and it used to they would just let it happen.
Yep.
But I don't know what the cutoff was for all this shit to be happening. Like what went down for them to like up all this, it
wasn't
they have Stadies coming in.
It wasn't the super stair climb, that's for sure,
dude.
It wasn't that.
They don't have this stuff for all that, because they have all this like car stuff down in Ocean City. You have cruising,
you have Hot Rod Week, you have Harley Week,
or
Bike Week,
Corvette Week, everything else. All this stuff happens.
And there's
during
a lot of
that shit too.
And there's fuckery that happens during Hot Rod Week.
Just as bad, if not worse.
Yeah,
I've seen. I think what I've heard is they block off for cruising. I guess they block off a section. It's just like a burnout box, and you do burnouts in the street.
So I wonder
legally do them in the street.
I think it's just because maybe is that an older crowd and they don't want these younger kids who.
It could be there.
It may have something to do with it, but
they feel. I don't know if they feel they can get away with doing it with younger kids because they just kind of like.
We'll take it.
They take it. Yeah. They're just like, we know that we're gonna get tickets, but I still bring my car down.
What's the worst that's gonna happen?
I know it's gonna get towed. That's why I brought a trailer.
They're gonna do an Instagram rant.
Yeah.
What the fuck's the point? Honestly,
there was like some 7 Series BMW last year, and he went off on this huge rant about so he got pulled over for camber, right?
But
and he was trying to help the cop.
Get
the car on the dolly. Or whatever.
I don't think it was the owner. It was somebody else that was helping the owner. The owner was being cool.
No, I think he was trying to help the cop get his own car. That's what it was. Get his own car up on the dolly, and like he got put in jail,
he got
or
arrested,
he got reprimanded, or what have you.
But I'm sure.
And then he went on this
story.
giant rant on Instagram. I was like, I didn't bring my car down to have people look at me. I'm like, bullshit, you fucking didn't.
No, that's
yeah.
If you want to go to H2O,
I've been down here so many times that I've never had a problem with my camber level, bro.
If you want to go to H2O and not be looked at, you drive a 2-liter Jetta that's bone stock. That's what you do.
The most fun I ever had was me, Steve, and Derek in my Jetta, bald front tires, and we're just like it was raining out and just ripping through every gear and going nowhere
in like 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Bop, hop, hop, hop. But
yeah, it was terrible when I brought the 240 down.
Yeah.
It was absolutely terrible.
Everyone wants to show off. That's.
I can't even show off in it because I need to be going 60 miles an hour to show off, and that doesn't happen.
Well, we got a couple people join now, so let's get off our rant and we'll do the what did you do this week?
Am I starting this?
We can start with because Kevin said he's going to do stuff talk about what he did at work.
I'll do a little bit. Actually, did a couple of things.
You had some cool things at work this week.
I did have a couple cool things.
Proceed
in this week.
Go on.
Actually, I'm gonna back up and say I was supposed to have jury duty on Monday, but it got called off.
Yeah.
So I spent the day in the Jetta doing Jetta things. So I have like headliner tacks holding up my headliner because it's been sagging, but this last little patch, I can't get a tack up there. Like there's not enough like foam or whatever. So I went to go get spray adhesive, and so I sprayed and glued that back where it needs to be.
Use a nail gun.
I used a nail gun. So I did that to the Jetta, and I did top it off with a little bit of oil. It's been burning recently. I might have to switch over to some heavier oil.
Maybe.
I don't know.
What'd you do at work?
What did I do at work? So I have I did an automatic rebuild on a Vanagon. Oh. So that's set to go in. I had
What had to get rebuilt on it?
It blew out a transmission seal. And while we're in there, they know there's a seal in between the transmission and the differential, and something when that mixes.
I was gonna say it's the front. Yeah. Okay.
So when those mix, that's no bueno. So the front one blew, but it's not the one between the trans and the diff. So we might as well we took it apart and resealed it anyway because it's only a matter of time before it happens. So we did that. I had a newer S8, the V10 S8.
What year was that?
07.
Okay. I didn't know how old that was.
Yeah, I have an intake manifold to replace on that. I had an RS4 in the past 2 days for an auxiliary radiator replacement and some inspection and emissions hoopla. And I had a 911 in for the active suspension.
What year?
That would be Ron's car, 06.
Oh, 997. Okay.
Yeah, 4S.
Oh, okay. With the beige interior. Yeah. The one with the pedals you put in, the red line pedals.
Yes,
right?
I drilled holes in his pedals. I'm like, are you sure you want me to do this? I'm like, because if you ever want to replace it, it's going to be like $1,000. He's like, yep, go ahead.
That feeling of drilling a fairly new car.
Yeah. That hurt. That hurt me inside. The pedals were nice, though.
They look nice. They were those machined.
I guess so. They have it's a module replacement because they have active suspension in those, so it turns this quote unquote a passive active suspension to a fully active suspension.
Okay.
So it's a module replacement, and you put a like a G meter in the car, so it'll stiffen. Or
is that based on what mode you have it in? If you have it like in sport mode,
I think it comes preset. This module comes preset with their algorithm of like however they like it. You can actually go in and tweak it if you like. Say for this track you need it more tightened up in the rear or whatever. So we put that in.
Was that an aftermarket or was that a factory?
That is an aftermarket unit.
Okay, so he was, because I know he tracks it. So
yes, he has done pretty much every suspension mod and tires and stuff like that.
Fun to drive.
It is a lot of fun, but he hasn't touched anything with the engine because he has a warranty with the engine, so he doesn't want to touch it.
Smart.
So that's what I did this week.
Even though I'm sure that motor is a pretty solid enough motor that you can
I
do
remember
little things
when
too.
Tom drove it, and he gets out of the car, and he's like, "Why would you pay that much money for a car that slow?" And I laughed so hard.
Oh, Tom. Tom is a good guy.
Tom has a 996 turbo with a tune on it.
Loves Miatas.
Yeah, and he does. His car's pretty quick.
Yeah, Tom's a good guy.
That's what I did this week.
Okay. Should I go next?
Yeah, we'll leave the creme de la creme.
Our
for
story
last.
is intertwined.
We'll put
Christof.
the icing on the cake with
So,
you.
yeah.
Okay, so I'll go next. I actually did something to my own vehicle as well. Crystal's car, the R32, got a new head unit. I actually was able to pick up an RNS 510 revision P, so a newer version with a solid state drive. So it's much faster. I was able to pick that up for pretty cheap, and a Dyne Audio amp, and Bluetooth, the 9W7 Bluetooth module for streaming music and for phone conversations, for all together from same person. So I installed that yesterday. So it's nice to be able to listen to music with no auxiliary cord, hands-free calling. And that's nice, and having a newer version navigation. I plan on washing both cars today too, because it's going to be 60
it's
degrees.
fantastic. Same.
And so that's my car.
Actually, before, did anyone else notice how he had to repeat the cheap because he was beaten over the head for picking up?
No, Crystal actually didn't. She didn't murder me yet.
Not yet.
Because she knows today's my birthday.
But he
so
did have
she
to
doesn't-
say cheap, cheap, cheap. Everything was for cheap.
Well,
so yeah.
it's relative.
Whatever makes you happy, big guy.
So what I paid for all three of those items, I should have paid just that for the head unit itself.
No, I hear
So it's relative. I've always wanted the Dyne Audio amp.
This much or more?
More, yeah.
That's like how much I was almost debating spending on a head unit with integrated Garmin GPS and everything. I'm like, do I really want to drop that amount of
head
money?
units,
into
even
it?
aftermarket, man, they get, depending on what you want,
they
they
get
get
expensive.
Yeah, they can.
But like the Dyne Audio amp is direct plug and play, and the sound quality was a huge bump.
Oh yeah, dude,
massive. bump.
OEM stuff is crap.
But that is an OEM too. It's just
Yeah.
that was out of the Passat, because the Passat was the first one to have the B6 had the Dyne Audio. And so
I've
plug and
replaced
play.
pretty much every. I think a lot. Three of my cars. Three out of how many cars have I had? Like 7 or 8.
I don't know.
I don't know. I've changed the head units on it, and just changing the head unit itself makes a huge difference.
Yeah, and then this amp was a big difference with it too. So I'm hoping next year to actually do like maybe Soul Matrix, do an entire speaker upgrade to just replace all the speakers in the car. But that's next year. It's not a priority.
I did those in my car, and it was fairly on the cheap.
Soul Matrix, yeah, it's actually not a bad. Their OEM fit, their OEM look, but they're better quality, and their prices. I think I could get a whole kit for that car for like $450.
Dude, I can hook you up probably for way cheaper.
No, it's going right through them.
Yeah.
So they
won't be like straight up bolt up, but they will work. They'll work.
You know a guy.
Do that. Yeah, do that. That was a huge difference when I put the new speakers in it, and dynomatted when need to be dynomatted was awesome.
Yeah, I'm saving that for. That's like one of the last things I want to do. If I end up blowing a speaker, then I'll just do them all at once. But that's one of the last upgrades I did. So that's everything I did to my car. Then, so we talked last week that Casper's Volvo 850 was here at the house, and we replaced the PCV last week, thinking there was a smoking issue with the engine. We thought maybe clogged PCV. So after that got replaced, we thought,
which I guess is a common thing.
It is a very common thing. For
these
those
things
cars.
are known.
We need to do some Volvo research because the expert mechanic here has no idea what's going on.
So then between the three of us collaborating, I know Kevin and I talked a little bit about this, that there is a passage for the PCV that dumps from the actual hard substances, not the gas. It allows it to drain back down into the oil pan. And those are known for being clogged. So we're like, well, the next step is let's pull the oil pan, and check that passage to see if it's clogged. And so that's what I did. And it was not clogged, which was very, very upsetting. Resealed everything back up, put it back together, still smoking. Then I found a hole in the valve cover. So it's the excess pressure had popped a hole cracked a spot and pushed out through the valve cover. I also replaced the cam seals that were leaking, so they got the rear cam seals.
The cam seals that you blew. Yeah.
Yes.
But
and then we decided to check compression.
So
we
I
checked compression
figured
yesterday.
next step, let's check compression. So I went out to thinking I could probably go to Advance or AutoZone or something and rent the compression tool. Apparently they don't rent that tool. They don't rent the compression kit. Fortunately, it was very cheap, so I ended up just buying it. We came here, and we were very, very hopeful, considering that this motor was sold to me with warranty, stated to have 70,000 miles. So who would think that a Volvo turbo motor at 70,000 miles would have shot compression? Not us, but guess fucking what? We were wrong.
And even further than that, who would have thought that Kacper would blow 4 motors?
Yeah, don't get me started.
In a matter of 6 months.
6 months. So, 3 Volvo motors and a bike motor. But yeah, so this is, the compression was completely shot on the engine.
I think only one was even close.
One
to
was
the minimum.
close to the not the required, but the suggested minimum by factory. But it still came short. It still
one was
wasn't
off by a lot.
Yeah. So for anybody that is somewhat savvy about PSI ranges for motors, it's supposed to be between 156 and a 185 per factory specifications.
Dry.
The highest was 154, the lowest being 100. So the motor is doo-doo. So I'm super excited about that. Let me tell you how fucking happy I am.
And the turbo started making noise.
And now the turbo
that you
started
just got
making,
rebuilt.
so I had a brand new turbo put on by a very reputable Volvo niche market. I would say, Volvo niche market group, DCTB, Duke City Turbo Bricks. Purchased the turbo from him, ended up putting it on the car. It went once already, which we couldn't really figure out why. Sent it back. He had it rebuilt. Turns out it was either due to starvation or some kind of debris in there. So put it back on. Everything seems fine with now this engine. And so within 300 miles, the turbo started making noise now again. So I'm just super
Which
peachy.
now we're saying it's because of the blow-by that's
Correct.
now getting put through the PCV system back into the intake tube and getting sucked through the turbo, which explains what happened the first time and now a second time.
Yeah.
So this warranty company owes you a motor.
They do.
And a turbo.
Yeah, they do. I didn't, I'm not going to dish out names because it's just not correct for me to do that, but I did get in touch with the warranty company. Yeah, no, it's not correct yet at this time. I did attempt to get in touch with the warranty department. I put in my claim, and I am slowly waiting for a response. So, needless to say,
if by next week's recording there's no response, they will be put on blast.
They will be put on blast. So that's where I'm at right now. I'm kind of at this point. I honestly, I'm not surprised. I've just had a pretty shitty strain of luck with this kind of stuff. But I think it's kind of a sign that maybe I should be my car enthusiast. It's my car enthusiast self. It's time to move on to something else.
You had my. I think I said it last time. I'm like, dude, if it's not that, it's done.
Yeah.
So
which is a shame because it is a clean car.
It is a very clean car.
I didn't have any problem removing any bolts off of that thing. It's rust free.
Yeah, no, the car is definitely rust free. They did a fantastic job. Volvo did a fantastic job with that generation specifically because they are very, very anti-rusty. I don't think I've ever seen a rusted 850. But the thing is, hopefully, I don't know. I guess we'll see what happens. There's tons under the hood. There's a bunch of new parts, and I'm going to be going through the warranty claim. I already know I have people that are interested in picking up the car potentially. That know what I have under there, and know that I'm not just trying to sell anybody short. It's going to be a very transparent release or selling point of the car if it gets to that. But currently, I'm just waiting to get this sorted out because there's no way in hell I'm letting that go. There's no way.
Yeah. Let's go to Instagram. Let's see. We're doing Instagram live now. Let's see. What did we got? A couple people watching. What did you guys do this week? We got the Chad Nebel. He's on here. We got Eric Dark Mufasa. We got Automobile Day Spa. Good old Louie. And I also see Eagle Point Farm 853. I'm not sure who you are, but welcome. What'd you guys do this week? Oh, Eric. Okay, he is hunting down Yokohama S drives. 20540 R18s. So those are they got discontinued. That's why you're hunting for them. Okay.
S drives.
That's kind of narrow. Is that due to wheels being aggressive?
Tire stretch, possibly?
Tire stretch, yeah. And I would say because the wheels are maybe too aggressive.
Why do they have to be S drives?
And how many are you hunting down?
Why are you just not going straight for Nankangs? That's my question.
Oh, that's a good one. That was a dark period in my life.
Because they're good for the sidewalls stretch really nice, bro.
Stretched for show use only, he says. He already has 2. Well, if you're, how's the tread on those 2? Why don't you just ditch the 2 you have and buy a set of 4 that's not discontinued, and then you can. I don't know. I'm talking on my ass here. Nankang's DB'd like no other. LOL. Yeah, they're also garbage.
Yeah.
They also don't hook on the pavement.
They're not meant for that.
$60 tires. Yep. Yeah, you're right.
They're
yeah.
not meant to be put on a car. Those tires is what it really comes down to.
It goes Nankang, Tiger Paw. Shit. What's another good one? Sunny.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that's all the crap box.
Also, here's a consumer tip. Stay away from tires that say tire brand.
I've never heard of that one.
That they're not, but if you happen to find one.
Don't skip out on tires,
No,
guys.
tires are, yeah.
I was having this chat with Don because he had whatever the junk tires that I had on the Jetta, and he was talking about the tires that he had on his new Golf. And he's like, you know what? He's like, been buying junk tires for years and years now, and I'm like, Don, I understand where you're coming from, but like it's such it's a big upgrade, whether it be just noise or just all around traction. Like, don't skip out on tires, man.
Even just wear alone. Even if you're okay with the noise and the ride,
wear,
yeah,
wear quicker than others.
There's two things I know, especially when I worked in service. There's two things I would always preach to people: brakes and tires. Don't cheap out on brakes. Whether it's don't stick a new set of pads on a really shitty rotor that you probably should replace the rotor. Just do it right. Or do it twice. No, I mean, brakes and tires. Those are the two things. I had a very short period of time when I bought Nankangs, and one time. And actually, I didn't have them for very long, so I decided.
The lowest I'll go is General.
For the winter tire.
For
the Ultimax Arctic.
I do need a set of all seasons on that.
They're not a bad tire.
They're not.
No,
they're not. The winter tire I like on there. I like so far. It's quiet.
Yeah.
If you're into snow tires and you ever been in a car with Blizzaks, they are noisy as shit.
Which is weird. They're one of the best rated snow tires.
They are the best rated snow tire.
Which blows my mind.
Yeah.
How you can have something that's that good.
You wouldn't know that has snow tires on it. It's pretty quiet.
Well, you rode in the Audi for the first time with snow tires on too. Those are the Hankook Icept or whatever they're called. But
yeah,
they're pretty quiet.
I like Hankook in general. I don't think they're bad. They have some nice stuff that they produce.
They're good bang for buck.
Absolutely.
I was looking for a set for the 240. I guess I have to roast those Sumitomos off this year.
Can I come, please?
I'm limited in tire choices for that because they're 17s and they're not really wide.
Which, speaking of which, Eric said he would like some Hoosiers or R888s for track use only, or Hankook RS3. So it's funny that he mentions that because your car, the first time I ever saw your car before it was your car, it was sitting with Hoosiers.
Was it on Hoosiers or Mickey's?
Hoosier. I remember the sidewall paint.
Yeah.
Kevin's car actually was the guy who owned it before
I asked him for. I guess he sold those already. I'm like, do you still have the slicks?
Because I was driving home from work and I would see the car parked, and one day I drove past it and I'm like, why does that car have Hoosiers? That's weird.
Yeah,
that's really weird. And I text Kevin like, hey, you got to come see this car. It's sitting up by me, sitting on Hoosiers. And then we saw it at Cars and Coffee, and then now he owns said car.
Who knew?
Really weird. Who else is watching?
We put RS3s on 911.
Okay,
and he likes those. That's a pretty much a dedicated track rat.
Okay,
car.
So Z-rated or
Z-rated. It's a track car, so it's just like it's got. The tread wear is pretty low on it, but that's obviously any sticky tire they're going to wear really quick.
Soft. They're real soft.
But it's a good bang for buck. So I think the next step up would have been, an additional $500 for a set of 4. So he kind of met like halfway in the middle. So I was considering getting those for the 240, but I need different wheels.
Yeah,
down the line. Spring is right around the corner. I can smell it. I can
true.
smell it outside.
You can smell the spring. It's true.
It's supposed to be in the 50s all week this week.
Good.
60s.
No, it's not good. It's still winter. We're supposed to have a period of time
I'm done
when it's
with
cold.
Winter.
We didn't even have a winter. How can you be over it?
It was cold for a little bit.
A week.
2 weeks, I want to say.
The ground never froze. That's not good. The ground never froze fully.
Global warming.
It is.
Global warming.
We never had a good deep freeze, which you're supposed to have every winter. This was supposed to be a harsh winter too, which is weird. It didn't.
Farmer's Almanac said we were supposed to have whether you believe Farmer's Almanac or not.
They're usually pretty accurate. Usually, this one they lost.
Not this year, bro.
Yeah, I know. That Punxsutawney Phil's probably pissed off. We pulled him out of his hole.
Yeah.
Goddamn. How is that still a thing? How is Groundhog Day a thing?
Because people are stupid, Christof.
And this was the biggest turnout they've ever had this year.
Yeah.
And people line up to get their picture taken with a groundhog.
I think it's just tradition. Whether you believe it, if you're believing what a groundhog says, he whispers into this dude's ear who's wearing a top hat.
I can listen because I'm holding the groundhog staff. I watched it this year just to go, oh my God, all these people take acid? That is crazy. I didn't know there was a market for acid. That's crazy. All right, we got Veritech 1. He said getting the car ready for spring. RS3's my next tire in 265 width. He has a tuned A4, B5.5 A4. 265 would be
B5.5. They didn't make B5.
B8.5. Sorry.
B8.
It's my
car.
B8.
Yeah,
B8
okay.
and a half.
Yeah,
because the facelift is the half. So he has the facelifted A4. 265. It's 20 millimeters wider than factory tires.
What did you say? 265.
265. Yeah. 245 stock on the car. So
nice.
They definitely hug nice, which will be nice. So, all right. Well, I think that's it for what did you do this week. I think it's time.
I think it is time.
I think it's time. We're going to call it.
We're
going to call it time of death. No, that's not right.
That isn't right.
No, but this has been a good one. I hope we didn't go down too much of a slippery slope. Honestly, that topic has been talked about so many times by so many people. Mm-hmm. Just like the car scene itself, nothing's new. We weren't original in this.
No, we weren't.
But we did put our own little 2 cents in this, and with that, I mean, I guess that's something special. We're coming up here. Episode 10 is going to be coming up quick, and that's all we actually have planned for is the first 10. We're probably going to take a 1 week hiatus and then come up with new material. And if you guys have any ideas for episodes you'd like to see us do,
suggestions, anything,
if you actually want to be on the show, if you have something you want to promote,
slide into our DMs.
Yes, gearshiftpodcast@gmail.com. You can hit us up on Instagram, Facebook, and the whatnot. But yeah, we're open to suggestions. We would love to have you on the show too if you are an expert in your field. Next week, I believe, is the motorsport episode.
It is, and we have 2 guests that week, actually.
We will have 2 guests, so...
we will not reveal those guests right now.
We will not, no. But that'll actually be a pretty good one because I'm not a motorsport guy for the most part. I don't have much experience other than going to a drag race once in a while and going to Wookiees. And
both of our 2 guests do actually have some good experience.
Yes,
so that'll work out very nicely.
If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, or complaints, please email us, gearshiftpodcast@gmail.com. If you have any ideas for a show, go ahead and email us there too. If you are a business that wants to get your name out there and you maybe want to sponsor our show and give back to us a little bit, this thing is not free to do. It does cost a couple pennies a month. So we would love to be able to promote your brand. Also hit us up at Gmail, our gearshiftpodcast@gmail.com. And... I think that's it. We want to thank you all for listening once again, and we'll be back again next week. Signing off, I'm Christof.
I'm Kacper, and just before I go, anybody interested in a pristine Volvo wagon for sale, let me know, gearshiftpodcast@gmail.com.
Craigslist.
Have a good one, guys.
See you. Bye.
Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week.
Gear Shift Podcast is a production of Gear Shift. If you have any questions, please email us at gearshiftpodcast@gmail.com or visit us on Facebook.